This afternoon, Betsan.
Hello, Carl.
Hello, good, glad you can hear us. I don't know if you could hear what Vaughan was saying there, setting up, I think, Owen Smith's speech, the Shadow Secretary of State for Wales this afternoon, based on what Carwyn Jones had to say this morning, which we'll see later on. There's plenty to look forward to there, isn't there? I mean, what would you foresee as the highlights?
Well, I think there's going to be quite a lot of content, as Vaughan was suggesting, and certainly that's what we saw and heard from Carwyn Jones, and I know you'll get to see that in full soon now within the programme in the next 2 hours. But it wasn't just one of those speeches where, you know, you're rallying the troops or you're sending them home with a spring in their step to fight an election or nothing of that sort, but he had a job to do in this speech, and I think he had a good go at doing it on lots of fronts. On health, I wonder if he sounded defensive, that he had a message of, look, we have to make things work and things are going to have to change. As Vaughan was saying, on further devolution, we've heard about this roasting he's meant to have had from MPs in Westminster a few weeks ago. He had a job of work to be done on that, on the economy, on the reshuffle. Not that much of a reshuffle, but there's a bit of defence of that as well. So there were lots of messages. Some of them, he said in his speech, aimed at the Conservatives that applied. I think mostly they were aimed at his own party, many of whom were there either on stage with him or in the hall listening. So, you know, there was a bit of bottom to it, if I might use it like that. Certainly a bit of content to what he had to say.
Certainly, and it was something that we were discussing here, that there's no general election for 2 years, assembly election for 3 years, is there? So it's good from our point of view that, you know, that they've got something that they want to get sorted at this conference, but it's not going to get sorted, is it?
Well, I suppose that's the question, isn't it? I mean, there is a round table later on devolution, and we understand that it'll be Carwyn Jones on the one side, Owen Smith on the other, and Wayne David MP in the middle. But we won't be there. It's one of these round tables for what they call observer pluses only, so the media won't be there. We're hoping that people in the room might tweet what is going on, because it is interesting. And who wins on those particular battles, how those tensions are resolved, it's very, very significant and important. And so certainly we would like to know how things are going, but on the face of it, they're not going to resolve those here and now, no, certainly. But it is a sign from Carwyn Jones that he's very, very aware that there are difficulties and that he is going to somehow need to resolve them over the next few months and years. And health is the other big one. If there was a theme to what he had to say, it was on health. So where Owen Smith goes, it'll be very interesting to see his take and whether he also has a few rocks to throw within the hall and whether there'll be a few messages honed in his speech as well.
Yeah, I know. I was watching the coverage earlier on S4C. There's plenty of Labour Assembly members there. How many of the MPs are up there?
There are MPs here, and I haven't counted them, but I've certainly seen quite a few. Some you suspect might not have made it here because of the weather, because the other people who haven't made it here because, as you said, of the weather on this North Wales Riviera are the health protesters. There was to be a protest of people coming over from Flint to make their feelings known. They wanted to meet the new health minister. They wanted to make the point that he might be new, but that the policy is not, and that they object to it. They wanted to spell out why, not to make trouble, they said, but to make their voices heard. Now, as I was coming over, there were a few protesters who'd gathered, more local protesters perhaps, because that gang hasn't been able to make it because of the weather. So it might mean some others that Labour would have wanted to see here staying away, but certainly might have been a bit of comfort to them on this occasion. They saved their skins a bit that the bigger protest hasn't made it to Llandudno.
OK, Betsan, we'll catch up with you later on. Enjoy the afternoon's delights ahead. Thank you.